It has one of the best settings of any cultural events in the world, the Annecy Animation Film Festival in southeast France. The biggest gathering of cartoon lovers in the world. It's 60 this year. A big celebration had been planned with prestigious guests, premieres, and a spectacular programme that paid tribute to African animation. Well, the party might be postponed because of the health crisis, but the festival has found an alternative way to exist. I'm joined by two directors, Romanian filmmaker Anca Damian and Zimbabwean filmmaker Brent Dawes. Hello, both of you. Now, you're involved in the online edition of Annecy. We're going to talk about your work in a moment, but first, Pierre Delreux explains what an online Annecy entails.
This is what the Annecy International Animated Film Festival usually looks like. It's the biggest gathering of its kind, attracting thousands of fans, animators, creators, distributors, and buyers each year. But in light of the COVID-19 outbreak, the 2020 edition of the festival has been moved online.
For festival goers, there's a video platform which gives access to the entire official competition. As for professionals, we've set up a series of ways for them to meet and interact, such as virtual booths. Since the festival began, we can see everything's working very well.
A €15 pass gives access to all of the competition's content for the entire duration of the festival. Hundreds of short films, feature films, extracts, as well as making-ofs and masterclasses adding up to tens of hours of viewing are available online. And then there's the official competition, presenting animation features from around the world. From Japan, for example, with Lupin III, the First by Takashi Yamazaki. Or from Russia with Ginger's Tale by Konstantin Sharkin. And also from Poland, Kill It and Leave This Town by Mariusz Wilczynski, just to name a few. France also sunk its fangs into the competition, with entries such as Petit Vampire, Little Vampire, directed by Joan Sfar, another film adaptation of one of his comic books.
The audience is great. They're involved. They're willing to participate as if this festival is like every other year, even though they're doing it from home. Of course, everyone would rather be by the lake in Annecy, but that's how it is. The French government has kept really quiet when it comes to helping the cultural industry, so we have to help ourselves. And I'm really grateful that the festival managed to keep its doors open.
With most creative processes better suited to social distancing measures, the animated film industry has suffered fewer losses from the COVID-19 pandemic than its live-action counterpart. But the future remains uncertain for the multi-million-dollar industry, as the upcoming economic crisis could affect revenues, investments, and productions.
Anca, hello. Now, the animation industry is one of the creative industries that's fared pretty well during the COVID-19 crisis. You're personally used to making films with teams remotely in lots of different places around the world. Tell us why animation has continued to thrive during lockdown.
Luckily, animation can be done also remotely from home. So even during the lockdown, we continued to work. But of course, that is not the same. I continued to work for my island, which appears to be more and more connected to the reality that we are living.
And Anca, the festival is a big champion of women directors. A few years back, it declared a call to action to have a 50-50 workforce by 2025. What can you tell us about your days as the only female cinematographer in Romania?
They told me, as much as I know, that there is no other woman that did four long feature animations. And I think that the society needs to change the values. It is not just replacing women who would do the same films and would put also the power system, would keep the power system in the society. It should be the value of compassion enhanced. We should focus on empathy. We should change the values of the society according to the feminine values, which are much more connected to life, which is, by the way, Marona's fantastic tale story.
That's your
bringing
film
and
that is just being released in the United States a year after it was shown at the Annecy Film Festival.
yes.
Marina's fantastic tale. Okay, well, every year Annecy hosts a Women in Animation Summit. This year it focused on the two topics dominating discourse around the world, the pandemic and global demonstrations in support of social justice, particularly for people of colour. Now, Brent, you were the lead animator on Africa's first animated feature, The Legend of the Sky Kingdom. You've been working in Africa to make your new film, Jungle Beat the Movie. How does the animation industry reflect diversity and promoting voices of minorities?
So animation, it's a pretty young industry in Africa, and so we actually have to work at the diversity within the industry. So I'm a white boy who grew up in Zimbabwe, who loved animation, and so got into it. But that's what I was exposed to. So what we're finding is as the industry is developing, it has started predominantly sort of attracting white people, but absolutely the interest is there, and the desire is there for that to expand and to grow and what have you. One of our producers, Rita Mbanga, was on the panel that you just mentioned. She's been with us as long as I've been at the company, and is also passionate about making sure that opportunities arise for those, for a more diverse people. But I guess the thing is, what we're trying to do is build a sustainable industry at the same time as trying to provide those opportunities. So it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge.
And we're going to watch a clip of Jungle Beat the movie in just a second. This comes from a long-running TV series that you created nearly 20 years ago. In the press kit, it says, the movie is a great example of how animation has the remarkable power to cross race, cultural, age and gender barriers better than any other medium. Why?
Firstly, with particularly the movie that we're working with animals. They don't have a race, So a monkey, an elephant, even an alien. There's anyone can relate to that, I believe, whether it's whichever country they're from. Also, the original series had no dialogue, so it traveled so well, and I think it just sort of takes down a few layers of defenses, because it's not an accurate one-for-one representation of any person necessarily. It's just a world of color and fun, which allows people to take down their defenses, sort of enter in and just enjoy. I think it's just a wonderful medium with which just to tell genuine, heartfelt stories without sort of having to justify or labor any agendas or anything like that.
Well, let's take a look.
I come from a planet called Skoldron, but I'm not allowed to go back until I complete my mission.
But we can help!
Yeah!
Let's just go and get this over with.
Actually, it's this way.
They're coming this way!
Grab on!
Skoldronians never ask for help!
Well, monkeys always help!
Now, that was from the new movie Jungle Beat, the movie. Now, Anka, animation sometimes gets sidelined when people talk about movies and entertainment. You talk about big subjects in your award-winning films, like the Soviet-Afghan War in The Magic Mountain, a man who dies in prison on hunger strike in Krylik, The Path to Beyond. And now you're addressing the migrant crisis in your film, The Island. Do you think animation is an art form that can have a huge social impact?
For me, the film should aim to change the world. I still think that art is not, it should be entertaining, but it is not just entertainment. For example, the topic of refugees, it is in a musical, which is when you say a comedy musical with Robinson Crusoe, that in a film that looks like Little Prince, but with the humor of Monty Python. For me, animation, it is a tool that I love, and I think that, of course, using it in telling what is really important, what is the meaning of the life, of the vision of the humanity, of where we are and where we are going, it is the most important thing.
Well, the island is being presented as a work in progress at the Annecy Film Festival. Take a look.
Robinson's diary. He was shipwrecked on a deserted island. He's alone on a deserted island. Everybody died on the ship. He's alone on the island. Everybody died on the ship. He's alone on the island. Everybody died on the ship. He's alone on the island. Everybody died.
Looking to the future, Brent, there's much concern about the effect of COVID-19 on the global economy. How will this affect the animation industry and future financing, do you think?
So I think animation is one of the fortunate industries that's able to actually continue, and to some degree it could actually help it thrive because of the fact that we've actually found that we're able to get more freelancers that weren't available to us during prior to lockdown, because now they aren't working at the studios and they've got extra time. And with people on lockdown, with people being at home more, there's more demand for content. We have been very thankful as a team that we've been able to operate largely unaffected, just apart from chats around the water cooler and what have you.
Okay. Brent, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Also to Anka. Now we're going to play out with Morona's fantastic tale. Jungle Beat, the movie, is going to be on VOD on the 26th of June. And the Annecy Animation Film Festival is running 10 days longer than usual this year until the 30th of June. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Chez les chiens, le bonheur, c'est l'inverse de celui des hommes. Nous voulons que les choses demeurent exactement comme elles sont. Les humains, eux, veulent toujours autre chose que ce qu'ils ont. Ils appellent cela rêver. Moi, j'appelle ça ne pas savoir être heureux.
It's a small thing.